Hey, what's up guys? It's Hayden.
Hey, and I'm Emma. Welcome to our channel. We are talking about the book of Boba Fett, which wrapped up this week. So if you want to hear our thoughts, then stick around. We are going to be talking spoilers though, so if you haven't seen it yet, don't watch us because we'll ruin it. But if you have seen it and you want to hear what we thought about the new series from Star Wars, then stick around.
So the book of Boba Fett follows the title character as he takes over Jabba the Hutt's old turf and tries to navigate the criminal underworld of Tatooine. So, look, this series carries on from the end of The Mandalorian Season 2. So at the end of that, we get to see Boba kill Bib Fortuna, take the throne from him, and that was kind of like where it left us. And so this is kind of carrying on from that. We also get to see a little bit of where Boba Fett was like after the events of Return of the Jedi, how he escaped the Sarlacc pit, all the way up to, I guess you would call, present day. So it kind of fills in a lot of those gaps for us. Now, look, I think this series did start off a little bit slow. It's kind of, setting everything up. There's a lot of flashbacks in the first few episodes. We do get to see how he escapes the Sarlacc pit. He gets taken in by the Sand People, and is kind of taken in as a prisoner at first, but then is kind of taken into their tribe and kind of learns their ways. And we do, discover that he, develops quite a bond with them. So I actually didn't mind that. I didn't mind the Sand People stuff.
That was my favorite part of the whole show, was seeing his relationship from prisoner to one of them develop with they're also known as the
Tusken Raiders, yeah.
Tusken Raiders. I really enjoyed that storyline. Unfortunately, I feel like it was maybe the only thing I enjoyed about this show. Look, overall, I liked the Book of Boba Fett, but they had a hard task bringing this out after the success of The Mandalorian. It was going to be really hard to top those two seasons. And I was struggling to find myself looking forward to the episodes each week.
Yep.
Whereas with The Mandalorian, oh my goodness, I couldn't wait till the next episode. Yep. Yeah, we just wanted it now. But this one, I was like, I don't know if I'm in the mood for this. And I didn't like feeling like that because I love Star Wars, and I really liked the world that Jon Favreau has brought us with The Mandalorian. So I thought, well, Boba Fett's just going to be right up there. And look, I did enjoy it. I just didn't have that I don't know. It just didn't have that spark for me still.
And I think where that lies is that, and I don't know how it is for you, but I just didn't really care about Boba Fett. He's a cool character, don't get me wrong, but outside of like the cool armor and the cool looks and him just being a badass, I don't feel like I care about him.
From the movie, like when you watched him in the movie, were you like...
Well, he's hardly in the movies.
I know, that's what I mean.
He's just a cool character.
Yeah, so you didn't feel you had that need to see his story.
I did want to see his story, but I think they needed to make us care for him a little bit more.
Okay.
I think it would have been better if they actually went back and maybe told a little bit of the story of him, as a kid, like after his father died, Jango Fett, and kind of how he became a bounty hunter. And all that, and maybe get us an inside look as to what motivates him, what drives him, and create this three-dimensional character that is not just a badass bounty hunter, but that has feelings, and that's something that we can connect with. And I feel like they tried to do that a little bit with the Tusken Raiders, but I don't think they went all the way there.
Yeah.
And I think this was really apparent, one, because, yes, I don't know if I was really looking forward to the episodes week to week, at least for the first few episodes. It definitely was apparent when they introduced Din Djarin back into it. And those two episodes where Din was the primary focus of the story, those were the two best episodes of the season, and Boba was hardly in it.
Oh, I don't think he was in it.
No.
in the first one that Din Djarin appears, I don't think.
And I think in the second episode he kind of wasn't in. He literally made like a 10-second cameo in his own show. There was like two episodes there where he was literally taking a backseat in his own show.
Yeah. And
the fact that I didn't care because we got to see Mando and we got to got to see Grogu and Luke and all that.
Oh my gosh.
That made it real apparent that, yeah, I don't really care about Boba Fett. And it's sad to say because it's his show. I should.
Yeah.
But the best 2 episodes of the Book of Boba Fett were the ones where he wasn't even in it.
And that says a lot.
It does. So, look, I feel like they tried to give us a little bit of a human side. I don't know if they went all the way there. I would have liked to see how his father's death impacted him and maybe drove him to become who he was. Mm-hmm. And then, you can have, a few episodes in the modern day seeing kind of, where he is now and kind of filling in that buffer between him taking the throne and, I guess, whatever happens next. But
and getting out of the pit, like filling in that gap as well.
Yeah, but maybe just a little bit more backstory. And maybe that needed more episodes. Maybe they didn't have the budget for that to tell that story. I don't know. Maybe they felt they had already told enough of that in the Clone Wars series.
Come on, it's Marvel and Disney and Star Wars. They got the budget.
they got the money.
Budget is not an issue with them.
But this just felt like it was set up as just a segue between Mandalorian Season 2 and Season 3. Yeah. That's how it felt. It's like, this will just kind of get us from A to B.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like it was... Because when we were talking about our predictions, like, I think I said to you, I don't think we're going to see Din and Grogu in this. I think it's just going to be telling Boba Fett's story. That's what I expected.
Yeah.
And look, I was pleasantly surprised that we got Din and Grogu. And as I said, those are my 2 favourite episodes, but it did take away from the rest of the season because the rest of the episodes then kind of paled in comparison and just really cemented for me that, I just don't really care about the Boba Fett character outside of him being a cool badass.
Yeah. It really says a lot. I mean, oh my goodness, when Mando showed up in Chapter 5, Return of Mandalorian, I think we lost our minds. We're like, oh my God, he's back. We're seeing how this all comes together now. But then I wasn't expecting the entire episode to literally just be about Mando. And Grogu. He came back.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that. I didn't think we would see him at all. And then I know what you mean. Like, as soon as these characters came back in, it's like, really couldn't care less what Boba's doing.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I just want to watch these guys.
Yeah, because they've actually made us care about Din and Grogu through the first 2 seasons of The Mandalorian. We care about those characters.
Yeah.
It's not just that Din's cool and he has some cool moves and he kicks ass. It's like we actually care about what happens to them, about what happens to Grogu. We're just waiting for them to reunite and to get back together.
Yeah.
Like, that was kind of all we cared about, really.
And you know what? I feel like I was getting close to that care point, if that's what you want to call it, with Boba Fett. When he did finally, start having that awesome relationship with the Sand People. He was working with them. They were training together. He earned his place with them. I was really enjoying that storyline. And then they went and got killed off. And I was like, oh, I feel like this has all just begun for us to watch. I mean, it obviously fills in the gap of his motivation for what he does next and all that, but I was really enjoying that, and then they took it away.
Yeah.
Like, I would have loved to have seen more of that through the show. Like, maybe... I don't know. I was really liking where he was going with them, and then it all kind of went downhill.
So I think it fleshed out the Sand People too. We haven't really seen much of them and what they're about, so that was really cool.
Well, that was the other thing. Like, I really enjoyed getting to know these other characters, creatures in the Star Wars world that we haven't really had a lot of attention paid to so far. So,
and is it bad this series did a better job of fleshing out the Sand People than it did Boba Fett?
Well, again, that says a lot too.
Yeah.
It fell a bit flat in that sense. I would definitely watch the show again. But does it need another season? I don't know. I feel like we're just going to have The Mandalorian now.
I would be open for another season if they did it right. If they just let Din and Grogu have The Mandalorian, they put them over there, and this time we actually get Boba Fett, right? All about him. I think, going more into his backstory, why he became the person he became. Yeah. I want to hear that story. I feel like that's how we're going to connect with that character.
But then I wonder if there's enough people who want to hear that backstory, or if people just want to see him as the badass.
No, I think there is. I think from what I've heard about this series, I think there's a lot of people that's what they wanted from this. As well as, seeing the badass, but they also wanted to care about him.
Yeah.
I just don't think we got that. They made it hard to kind of care from episode to episode. But look, let's go one more negative and then I think we'll get into the positives. So my one big negative is the mods.
Yes.
Yeah. I didn't like the mods. I didn't think they fit with the aesthetic of Tatooine. I hated their shiny, colourful scooters. That chase was ridiculous. It's the slowest chase I think I've ever seen. Not just in a Star Wars film, but in just action movies in general. Like, they were just putting around the streets of Tatooine and it just didn't work.
I don't know if it was an aesthetics thing. I don't know if it was like the costume choices or the color choices of their bikes. It was
a little bit of everything.
It was a bit of everything. I didn't like that they were like punks.
Yeah.
Because they just looked like regular punks that were like an hour.
Like if they were on Coruscant or something like that, like a planet that's a little bit more industrialized and, big cities and stuff like that, I think that would have made more sense.
They would fit in a bit more?
Yes, but we expect Tatooine to be grungy and, the bikes that they ride are all dusty and worn and...
Yeah.
They're just made up of different parts. These just looked way too clean. They looked too clean. They just didn't fit with the aesthetic of Tatooine at all. Yeah, and I hate to say it, but I think this was Robert Rodriguez's influence.
Why do you say that? That's kind of a big thing for you to say.
It is, because those that know me know Robert Rodriguez is my idol when it comes to filmmaking.
We're both massive fans.
Massive fans of Robert Rodriguez.
But why do you say that though?
Because it's very much his style. It just kind of had Robert Rodriguez written all over it, the mods. And look, I could be wrong.
Awkward if you're wrong.
Awkward if I'm wrong, but they definitely just felt like Robert Rodriguez's stamp. Obviously, Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni would have had to sign off on it, but it definitely felt like his influence. And look, I'm going to go a step further. I don't know if Star Wars suits Robert Rodriguez.
I mean, that's a massive thing for you to say.
I know, it pains me to say. I hate to say it because I love Robert. I love his directing style. I love his writing style. But it's just the two worlds just don't mesh. It just doesn't work. Something just didn't work with his episodes. And I felt that even with his episode in The Mandalorian, as cool as it was seeing Boba back, and those action scenes, I thought he did the action scenes well. But I remember that was the episode we had an issue with the cinematography. And now with the episodes that he did in this season, I think he actually probably had the weakest episodes.
Yeah, well, I do remember, was it episode 3?
He had 1, 3 in the finale.
Yeah, I do specifically remember not enjoying episode 3 the most.
And then that's when we got introduced to the mods.
Yep. But I think he did a really good job with the season finale, though.
Although the finale was fine. Yeah, the finale was good. It was entertaining. Couple of minor little, issues here and there, but I think he injected enough of his kind of Robert Rodriguez cool to kind of win me over a little bit. But yeah, I think I'm still, on the fence about, whether I think he works with Star Wars.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm really surprised to hear you say that, actually.
Yeah. But let's look at some positives now, shall we? So on the directing side of things, I actually thought that Bryce Dallas Howard had one of the better episodes of the season. And I think she is really proving herself as a director.
Yes, absolutely. She had one of the best episodes, I think, out of this season.
I think it was her and Dave Filoni directed the 2 Mando episodes.
Yeah. She's really stepping up as a director, isn't she?
Yeah.
Helps having the dad that she has. But
yeah, but I don't think she's done anything major before this, before she kind of, started doing Mandalorian episodes. Obviously, we all know her as the actress. But yeah, she's just really cemented herself as a director.
Yeah.
Like her episodes, even from The Mandalorian, are just so well executed. So well executed. So that's a big plus side.
Yeah.
Obviously, Dave Filoni, he had the other really good episode this season. I think he is really proving himself in live action. And then I think there was enough cool elements of this show to kind of win me over for the most part, you know. I really liked that Din got the old Naboo Starfighter as his new ship.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was a really nice touch. I really love the Naboo Starfighter look. It was one of my favorite ships. I had the model, had the toy as a kid. So I love the Naboo Starfighter. I thought that was a really nice touch. You know, definitely hit me in those nostalgia feels. I loved the Rancor.
Yes.
I love that we got to see more of the Rancor, that, you know, Boba just comes out in the finale riding it and wrecking shit. I thought that was awesome. Such a cool little action scene there.
And they set the tease up pretty early on.
Yeah.
It, you know, showed an empty cave there. And I'm like, oh, they can't set it up and then not bring it
And then
back.
Danny Trejo comes along in his nice little cameo as a Rancor keeper. And
of course, Danny was in there.
Yep. And then, you know, Boba's obviously like, I want to learn how to ride it. And then we're like, we're getting him riding a Rancor. And obviously they left that to the season finale. And that was, probably one of the coolest parts about the finale. I really love that. And they're just seeing, like, you know, Din and Boba kind of, you know, going back to back. And then that really cool action scene of them just kicking ass. Yeah, it was some really cool moments.
Yeah.
Seeing Slave One in action. I know the name has changed. I still call it Slave One. That's how I know that ship. Seeing that go up against a Sarlacc, like, I feel like it did give us some really cool little Easter eggs, some really cool moments.
Yeah.
But I think just overall, as a package, it might have just been a little bit messy.
Yeah, look, it was an interesting way to deliver a show, to tell a story, to tell a new story. You know, we obviously loved having The Mandalorian and Grogu come back. We had some other great cameos with Cobb Vanth and, did I say his name right?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Cobb Vanth. Yep. Timothy Olyphant's character. We had Ahsoka and we had Luke Skywalker.
Who looked fantastic.
Oh my god.
The, whatever they were doing there, like the
de-aging.
CGI de-aging, whatever that face swapping technology they're using these days, whatever the kids are using. That looked fantastic.
Amazing.
Yeah. There was only a couple of moments that it kind of broke the realism for me, and it was with the mouth a little bit. Just there were a couple of moments where, like, I don't know, the teeth were showing in a little bit of a weird way. Outside of that, though, fantastic. Like, when I first saw him, I'm like, I could hardly tell that it was fake. Like, it looked so realistic.
Yeah. Incredible. So cool. And then we had R2.
Yep.
R2-D2 come back as well. So, you know, it was really cool to have all these great characters join the Boba Fett show, but it was just a weird way to tell a story. Like when you have a whole episode and then chunks of other episodes not relate to Boba Fett.
Yes.
Like, it was just a weird choice, I thought. I enjoyed, as I said, having these characters back, but I was like, I feel like you're kind of taking the light away from Boba. Like, this is meant to be his show, and I feel like he's not really getting the platform that he deserves.
I think even Fennec Shand took a bit of the shine away from Boba. Like, it seemed like she was making most of the decisions for him.
Yeah.
But I even thought, like, the rivalry between Boba and Cad Bane was a little bit abrupt and kind of anticlimactic. Like, he came in the second last episode at the very end, and then kind of they had their face off, which was cool and all, but we needed more time to kind of set up that rivalry.
Yeah.
But you can't expect everyone to have seen Clone Wars and Rebels and all those other, you know, animated series. So I think their history is so deep. I feel like they needed to go into that more. And again, if they told the Boba story from how he kind of grew up dealing with his father's death, becoming a bounty hunter, we would have got that. It would have set that up.
See, now I'm not familiar with all the animated series and all those little side stories, but I did recognize that character. I feel like I had seen an image of him somewhere. So I didn't know who he was, but I was like, he looks familiar, and I think I was turning and said, oh, he's probably from one of the
He's a cool character.
He was so cool.
Absolutely badass.
Oh my god, can we just hold for a sec to talk about the makeup and prosthetics again, because I mean, look,
that's something that they always do well in
Star Wars. They always do well. now they do. Let's not talk about the prequels. But now Star Wars is doing amazing things with makeup and practical effects. And I loved what this character looked like. I was like, damn, he is cool. Who played him? Because I loved his voice as well.
I think the actor was different to the voice actor. The voice actor is the same guy that voices him in the animated series. Forgive me if I don't know his name. But I think the stand-in, I guess what you call the stunt double, I think that was a different person.
Right, so similar to what they did with Darth Vader.
You mean, Darth Vader and Darth Maul and pretty much all the cool characters. Apparently they don't like how the actors sound, so they just voice replace them.
Well, that explains why his voice sounded so cool. Yeah. I was really enjoying this new... He had a vibe that I was like,
just stood up to a rancor and just... without even sweating.
I know, I wanted to see more of him. And then
and next minute he's dead. They have their little fight and he gets stabbed and... Well, we don't know if he's dead yet. There are rumours that he might still be alive and that we see more of him. I kind of hope we do. He's a cool character.
I mean, it was just weird, another weird choice to introduce a character like this, set him up like he was going to play a big part in this world.
And he's not even there for half the fight. He just...
Yeah, and then next episode he's gone. Like, I think I even told you, they killed him off already. That's a bit of a bummer. I was kind of enjoying him. I was liking this bad guy. So, some interesting choices.
Look, I think overall we enjoyed it. But, look, it's definitely a show that has flaws. And I think that's a general consensus with this show. I think everyone can agree, yes, it's got some cool moments. But, some definite flaws there. Look, I hope they do expand on the Boba Fett story. Look, I would be open to a season 2, but I do think they need to learn a lot of lessons from this season 1. Lot to learn, I think. But... as I said, it sets up season 3 of The Mandalorian pretty well. Really keen for that. And then we've also got Obi-Wan Kenobi series starting real soon. And I'm going to give you, I guess, a hope and a prediction for that. Okay. Right off the bat. So I hope and I think that we will see the live action return of Darth Maul. Okay. Because those two do square off again in the animated series on Tatooine. So it is part of canon. I'd like to see that in live action. Let's make it happen. Let's see Darth Maul back in live action, please, and thank you.
Please and thank you. Well, you've heard it, folks. You better make it happen.
Yep.
Oh my god, you would lose your mind if he showed up.
I'll lose my shit.
Darth Maul's like your favourite character.
Little bit.
That would be pretty.
And they've done my boy dirty so far, so...
I think you could be onto something there. I think he could make an appearance. That would be very cool.
And that'd be very, very cool. Anyway, guys, I think we'll leave it there. We've rambled on long enough. But let us know what you guys thought of the book of Boba Fett. Get down there in the comments. Let's have a conversation. And make sure you do all that YouTube stuff as well. Slam that like button if you like what we do. Hit the bell for the notifications to be notified of what we got coming up next. Subscribe to our channel to become part of the Headspace Films community. And most importantly of all, thank you guys so much for watching. And we'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.
See ya.